Hi everyone, this is movie 1 for chapter 9, and this chapter is about creating advanced forms and different form types. And so the first thing that we want to do is to identify different types of forms. And up to now, we've really only done forms that are considered bound forms. So a bound form is something that's directly connected to a data source, such as a table or a query, and you use it as like the front end to enter and edit the data from those sources in a more user-friendly way. So when we use a wizard, when we've used the wizard to create the form and you pick the table or tables or queries, you're binding that form to that underlying data source. And that's what we've done so far. But now we're going to look at another type of form, and that's an unbound form. And that's one that is not directly linked to a data source. And unbound forms are used for a variety of reasons. One could be to specify parameters. So you're going to ask the user for a set of parameters, a date range or a location or a salesman number or something like that. And so you would use a form to capture that data. And one of the things that you can do when you capture that data is you put it into a variable, and that variable then can be used. It's saved as long as that form remains open. That variable is there for you to use against different objects. So it could be used against a form. It could then be used to run a report, a lot of different things that you can do with that. The other thing that unbound forms are used for, and that's to create menus so that you could have navigation of your system. You could use the form to run different reports, go into other forms, run queries. You can also put buttons on a form, for example, to print or to preview a form or a report. And those forms are not actually linked to an underlying data source, an underlying object, and so they're not really updating the records, but they're used for another purpose in the system. So for the training that's through your chapter, we're going to use this Gulf. And one of the things that I wanted you to be aware of is that there's a little bit of a issue in my IT lab, and I rearranged these, if you can see, and I changed the name. So the red bluff is the training, and it was at the bottom under the assessment for some reason. So when you look at your downloaded files, it's going to look like it's an assessment or a homework when it's really not. Just pay attention to what the database is inside of it. So the training for this chapter is Red Bluff, the Gulf. The problem solve one, which is your homework, is that university, high school, or whatever that UHS is. And then the assessment is the App Store. All right. So let me get back to here. Alrighty, so first thing we're going to do is we're opening, and I already have that opened. So like I do in all my little movies, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to mark that in some way. I'm done with that. Open table member. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and find my table member. Locate the first member in the table. Okay, so let's do table member. I'm going to open it. I'm just going to close that so we have some more space. Locate the first member in the table with the member ID 1. Okay, so that's Charles Barker. Change his phone number to 55. So we're going to change that to 505-555. And then here we're going to change it to 6793. Notice I still have my pencil on that record, so we have to move off of that record in order to save that. And we're going to go ahead and close the table. So I'm going to come over here and just put that we're done with that one. Use the form wizard to create a form that will display all fields from the table member, except all default options. Okay, well that's pretty easy. We've done that a lot, right? So we're going to create a form. So we're going to go to the form group using a form wizard. And let's see, use the form wizard, the table member. So we want to make sure that our table that we're binding it to is table member. We want all the fields, so I'm just going to click the double arrow over. It's going to move everything over to the right side. And then it wants me just to accept everything, so I'm just going to do next, 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 except name the form as something different. So we're going to do FRM add member underscore a student. And then finish. All right, so it created this form that's underlying, that is bound to the table member. So we have this step 3 done. So far, this isn't anything new, right? In layout view, so I need to come over here and switch to layout view instead of form view. So now I'm in layout view. Oh, there's my big field list. What the heck? Let's scoot that down. Resize member name field says that the right border of the field lines up with the address and city fields above, a width of 2.5417. So here's what I'm going to do in order to do that. I'm going to select those. So I'm going to select, let's see, member name, address, and city. Okay, so then I'm going to pull up the property sheet, and in my format I should have a width, right? And notice it's blank because these are of a different width now, so it doesn't know what to put in there. So I have all of those content, all of those controls selected. So I'm going to go into this width, and it says a width of 2.5417. And then resize the height of the field until the field okay, I don't know what that means. Resize the height of the field until I don't remember name. I have okay, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay guys, I apologize. I did the wrong thing. So I am going to undo that. We all make mistakes, right? This is first name, last name. Here we have member name down here. Okay, so let's recreate that. So it wasn't first, I need to read better, right? First name, last name. Here is member name. So let's revisit what this is saying. Resize the member name field so that the right border of the field lines up with the address and city above. So I'm going to go back to my property sheet and do the width here. 2.5417, and then the height we're going to do 0.2292. Okay, so that's, I was making it harder than I meant to. So now member name is the same size, so we can do that one. Okay, oops. Hello. Okay, why won't it let me do that? Okay, we'll just put a color on it. Okay, I'm actually almost at 9 minutes. So let's see. Change the default value of the city field to Santa Fe. Change the default value of state to NM. So I think I'm going to stop the movie at this point and pick up on step 5 in the next movie, guys. All right, thanks.